Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Paranormal Experience. I'm Eliza Broadbent. I'm here with Travis Bruce. The Paranormal Experience is where we ask horror writers to tell us their true stories of the eerie, the uncanny, and the unknown. We're here today with Pamela Kinney. Pamela Kinney gave up long ago trying not to listen to the voices in her head and has written award-winning best-selling horror, fantasy, science fiction, and nonfiction. Two of her nonfiction ghost books have garnered Library of Virginia nominations. Shout out to my friends at the Library of Virginia over there. Her latest book, Demon Memories, is available from Dreamhung Press. Pamela, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me today.
Welcome. We're super excited to have you. Now, Pamela has a story for us. As usual, Travis and I have literally no idea what Pamela is about to say to us today. So we're thrilled to have another Old Dominion author on here today to tell us whatever she has to say to us right now, which we don't know what this is. If this is demons, if this is a dead relative, if this is a dog come back to speak to us from beyond the grave, we don't know. Pamela, take it away.
I've had experiences since I was little. My mother used to have dreams that came true. I knew of two of them. One that my grandmother was going to die. I was a little younger, about I think third grade, and she had said to me she had a dream that my uncle Joey came to her to let her know he was sending her a letter come to her the following Monday. That her mother had died. Their mother had died, and it did. And then there was years later when I was out of high school, and this friend of mine, we were friends in junior high, 7th grade. So once we moved from that area in San Diego to El Cajon, I haven't heard from the girl, and I doubt she could find me, right? She tells me, "Oh, I had a dream last night. Jeanette's going to call you." You know, Jeanette from... I said, we haven't communicated with each other since we left San Diego. I have no idea that she knows where I'm at. Or the next day she called. So that's in the family, I think, at least on my mother's side. Maybe my father, I mean, he's got Sioux Indian blood, he's got Irish, I mean, you think about it, but my mother's definitely. And that's Czechoslovakian, so I have no idea if that means anything or not in the ancestry. But I would have, I really now believe, I used to believe that if I went to bed at night, most kids want the light on. I didn't. I wanted to keep it dark so monsters couldn't find me. So I thought, maybe it's those monster movies I watched, like the Blob. But now I'm wondering if I didn't see spirits coming to me. And that was my way of explaining why I had to be under the dark or under the covers, deep like a cave. So they couldn't see me. But it was years later, I was with a friend, and our class, geography class at El Cajon High, decided to have a field trip to Old Town San Diego. Now, Old Town's famous for one of the most haunted houses in the world, the Whaley House. And I've been to that place a few times. So this was before I was in it. So we came there. We were given money for food. We got to eat at Taco Bell for lunch because we were allowed for our class, everybody, as long as we got back to the bus, you know. And then my friend says, I said, "Well, look, that's the Whaley House. Want to look in it?" And then we thought, yeah, we had no money to go in. So I looked through the window where the courtroom was put, and she looked through the window that looked on the hallway, which had a lot of lace mantillas and things in these little glass cases. So I'm looking there, and there's this woman in this old-fashioned dress, black hair up in a bun. She's so much high, very solid in color, as solid as you and I, walking between the areas where the pews were or whatever for the court, walking toward the back doorway, and she went through it. So I ran, and my friend had vacated the window so I can catch her in time. I thought, I want to see this cool costume some more. Well, she wasn't there. So my friend says, Debbie goes, "Look, the door's open." It was springtime. Nice. Let's go in there and see if they know where the person is. So we went in there, and I asked them. They were wearing regular clothes. I said, "Where's the guide in the costume?" And one of them says, "We don't wear costumes." I said, "When that courtroom, looking through the window, I saw a lady in old-fashioned 1800s clothing, her hair in a bun. And that's why I wanted to see her costume up close." And they said, "Well, what did she look like?" So I described her. One turns to me and says, "Honey, you saw the ghost of Mrs. Whaley."
Wow.
This was daytime. So that always proved
Oh.
to me that daytime, nighttime, they come whenever they want. The nighttime, people think, oh, you have to have it at night. No. That's just, I tell people now when I investigate, it's because it's quiet. Sometimes if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, you don't have anything open or making noise that you can say maybe it's the ghost and not somebody like in a bar next door or whatever you're at. So I said, no, they can come daytime or nighttime. And I've proven that. I got pictures that are daytime, so for the new book. So it happens when it happens.
That's interesting. My son, we went down to Fort Pulaski in Savannah. Have you ever been down there?
Mm-mm.
That's the big Revolutionary War fort down in Savannah, and we had gone down to Tybee to the beach, so we took the kids down to the fort, and my son saw a soldier, Revolutionary War soldier, standing in the one of the battlements in the middle of the day, and he did the same thing. He was like, "There's a reenactor up there."
Right, that's just
and they don't have reenactors at Fort Pulaski. And I mean, the kid is he studies history. That's the thing he does. Like he's a big history nerd. And I think at the time he was like 12, and he knew all this stuff. Like this guy has this was accurate. This was accurate. This was accurate. And he's telling me, he's like, this was right. This was right. This was right. This guy was like really. He had all this stuff accurate. Like he was wearing this hat and this and this and this and this and this. He's like rattling it off. And like, yeah, no, that was not a reenactor. And it was broad daylight.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't have to be night.
No, you don't. I've caught a picture, and I guess you call it orb, but it was in color, and it was just so weird that it'd be daytime. I think night would be. It was Henricus. Henricus is haunted.
Henricus is so haunted.
It's in haunted Richmond too. So I stayed there. I think we're the second investigation. I used another group at that time to do it at night. They put the camera up out. They had to hook it up outside because to the one building in there that they use for parties and stuff that can hook it up, but everything else is literally like it was 1600s. Mm-hmm. And things. Yeah, I investigated with Moon Girl. The girl had never investigated before. That wasn't much help because every time I said, "Oh," like I was interested in something moved, she goes, "What? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it?" And she finally tells me, I said, "Well, honey, why are you investigating? You shouldn't be freaked out. I'm here. It's not like we're alone together with any, alone." But the camera that they had put for inside, at the end, they found it had been knocked off in the building, the party building. So they listened to it, and there were voices on it, and then you hear the crash. So like they were talking around that camera.
What did the voices say? Could you make anything out?
I can't remember. They were she was listening to it. Actually, it was Jackie's camera, so she was telling me about it. And then, I did see we call a shadow person, but I'm pretty sure it was one of the Civil War soldiers. I was outside, and the other person was going up toward where there's only 1 or 2 graves, I think, they're left. They buried them. They were African Americans. They were killed by Confederate snipers, whatever. And so there were only a couple graves. And he went up toward that area, and I was back near the building behind, which has the bathrooms, when I turned to look. He's about 6 foot tall, taller than me. He was all in shadow, but he had a face and had a white eye looking at me. I remember this to this day, the white eye. And it went
white eye on the shadow person. Oh God.
And here I am, and he went past me. I didn't freak out, I just stood there and go, "Oh." And that was it, he was gone. Didn't even look like he blended or it, just gone. But it was, he walked, past me, looked at me with a white eye.
Now Pamela, I was going to say, do you, having these paranormal experiences at a young age, did that kind of, because I had paranormal experience at a young age, and I'm like, I don't want to even mess with that stuff. But for you, it seems like with Haunted Virginia and a lot of your books and and your fascination with paranormal investigation, did that motivate you at a young age?
I don't think it did.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure that no. For a long time, I think I eventually after we moved out here, I kind of denied for a while, and I think that's what kept them off. You can probably keep them off. I'm figuring that out now. Anybody can keep them from coming here, and my house has gotten haunted after all this stuff too. So, um, but so they don't come out when I don't want them out. And I actually do prayer. I do prayers at night when I go to bed, asking God to keep them from. I don't want to wake up to see anybody staring. I don't want a living person looking down at me in my bedroom, much less and I don't want it out in the hallway or the bathroom or even bother my cat, because I'm pretty sure that my husband was holding when he was still as a kitten, and for some reason she just fell from his arms like she jerked. Of course, she broke a leg and ended up paying a lot for surgery, but I'm now thinking that she had seen it, because when after my son moved out, he finally got a job, girlfriend and married and all that, and job. When I heard a sound in the hallway, like a thump. Now it's carpet on the floor. It's not going to make a thump like on a floor, but it sounded like that. And I looked, and I suddenly realized she had turned to look. I said, "Oh, you heard that too?" So whenever I have something react and I can feel it, I said, "Don't scare the cat. It's her house." I give them rules too. That works. I just never tried it. I don't know. Like the one time when my son was living here, a dragon he had got me years ago fell out and broke. If it had fallen off the top of the TV thing, it would have fell on the big, boom thing for the TV. No, it flew all the way to the window. There's no way impossible. It should have went straight down, not that way. And so I got up that day. I remember I said, "Okay, here's another number for you of things you cannot do in my house. While you're a guest, that's fine. But this is one of the things you can never do ever. You broke my dragon. My son gave me that dragon. It's one of my favorite statues. I collect dragons. I don't want to see anything broken in my house again." After that, nothing did. If they come in the bathroom, I started telling them not to go in the bathrooms. We have issues at night, especially at night. We have issues. You have issues when you're alive. We have issues. We don't want anybody invisible looking at us. And the funny thing is, that started after somebody, I was taking a shower in the other bathroom off the bedroom, and Bill and my son Chris went to Walmart, and I thought I saw it look like a shadow or a person looking around the corner, and I thought, and I looked out, pull out the curtain, there was nobody there. I thought, well, maybe they're home. So I dried off, didn't assume anything, got dressed, and went out to look, and I look out the window, the car's not there still. And I understood what that was. So I said, "Look, okay, this is a daytime number for you. I told you none at night, right? Well, nobody can go in the bathrooms during the day either, because somebody was in there peeking at me while I was taking a shower. I have issues. You have issues when you're alive. Please have consideration. You're guests in my house." Because it is true. This house, we're the original owners. It was built on, so like I told them, at least you died in the swamp here. We're the original people that are going to haunt this house when we die. So please, it's my house. So you're a guest, act like a guest. So yeah, I gave those rules and it worked, because it could have been a lot worse. My husband and my son have heard women's voices, and they thought it was me, and I kept telling them I was in the bedroom, like one time counting money, and Bill saying, "Is that you? Did you call me?" "No, I've been in here quiet. A woman called me." "That's not me, honey." "That's me, one of the ghosts." "That's not me." And my son has heard it. I've seen, looking in the kitchen, I saw bare legs, men's legs are hairy, pass by where the kitchen is in there into the living room. So I called Chris, because he was home unemployed at the time. "Chris, did you go to the living room?" Finally he says, "I'm in here in my room." "Okay, you didn't go to the living room?" "No." "Okay." "Okay." So I looked at, there's nobody out there. They went toward the living room where I'm pointing, which is to the TV and that. Who they were, I don't know. Just the legs. I've seen cats. All my cats that died. I'm pretty sure my dog, when he died, was here too, but he was more invisible because one of the cats would not go near that spot he used to lay on. But the cats I've seen, I had 2 black cats before the current one. First one was a male, and Sam Haynes, what I call him. I call him Sam for short. And he was like my best buddy all the time. I mean, I could purposely irritate my husband's cat, who didn't like me. She was the only cat that I ever had that never liked me because she was more my husband's cat. So I said, well, go beat up on Ripley. And he'd go over, pop, 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 like he understood me. So he had passed away at 13 of a heart murmur. I haven't seen him for a long time. And then we had Boss, and we had to put her to sleep at 4 because she had something that she probably had since she was born. She was a loose feline. And and of course after that was Ripley, a month later, had a heart attack, but she was older, so that was expected. And people started hearing the cats. They said they heard the cats, both my husband and my fly stalker. I said, you mean I can't even see my one cat or any cat? And then I saw Boss, part of her. And then I saw Boss completely. And then I even saw Ripley going around my bag that had my books in at the time. So I've seen them. I've seen Sam 2 times in my life. First time I realized it wasn't, I saw a long black cat in the house, and it wasn't Ripley. It wasn't Shade. Shade's big for a female, but she's not long and muscular. She's the opposite. And then one night I got up and I thought it was Shade again. I was by the bath to the kitchen. I was at the bathroom. I said, Shade? Didn't answer me, didn't look at me. So I stopped and I thought, well, that looks awfully bigger. Sam? It turned its head. Sam? It looked at me. I said, and then it disappeared. So, yeah, I've seen that. I even seen a ghost cat, but if you got my Richmond books, one of them I mentioned about the ghost cat that haunted. That was not my cat, so. And that's when Boss and Ripley were alive, and Ripley was asleep. She could sleep through a hurricane, so I can tell you this cat sleeps. Ghosts could through here, she wouldn't even care. But Boss was acting up. I was coming back from exercise. I had seen something in my laundry room at the time, like a top of a cat, and I thought it was Ripley, but I thought not the same kind of gray, and it disappeared. So when I came from exercising, and Sam was over in the corner it had these big, Boss had her big white eyes, freaking out. And we had a cat condo here. Now, Boss was the only one hanged around with that. Ripley couldn't get her to even have an interest in it. She didn't even play much. She had only certain things she was interested in. Mostly my husband. That's it. But so there was this gray cat sitting up on its hind legs looking in the top hole. I said, oh, you must have been the one I saw the other night in the laundry room. And it dissipated right in front of me. But it was a solid in color, gray color and everything. So I've seen cats too, things like that.
Wow.
Which is nice. I don't mind cats. I will tell you a scary story about a cat I had and another ghost. This was back in California, El Cajon. One more story. This is creepy. This was a very creepy one about the guy. We moved in these kind of like a solid little homes, but they're apartments. But some had chimneys, but they all had little garages and everything. And I was in my bedroom one night, and I had, of course, was upset because we had a few months lived from the other place I lived in where we had to put my cat to sleep. Rod had died. When I felt something bounce on the bed, like a cat's footsteps, and I understood that was Raw. So that was sweet. And I didn't mind if he haunted the place. I said he could stay here if he wanted. It was the guy. I was alone one night. It was in bed. Well, I was in bed with my husband, and I woke up. Just happened to wake up sometimes. There was a man standing in our doorway, as tall as the doorway, so he had to be 6 foot something, and he was glaring. And I freaked out, and I just put the covers on me and didn't get out of under it till morning. So I kind of understood. I found out, we were trying to find out who this guy was. And my girlfriend found out that somebody that lived down the street from us, she lived, I guess he was having an affair with this other guy or something. He lived down the street, was there, and he had died there. And so, why he haunted my place? Because it all started when I first started having this. The bedroom thing was the next door neighbors were fighting about. I remember that exact same time he started all this. They were fighting about because she had caught him cheating with a girlfriend I knew from high school. And she caught her husband from cheating on her, and he said that she took out a pen or something. He said, "Oh, don't hurt yourself." She didn't. She stabbed it in his hand, so he had to go to the hospital. It was after that I had heard for the first time that I was in the bedroom, somebody coming over our fence from their yard to mine. I thought it was him. I said, "What's that jerk going to do? Come over." Nobody came over the fence. There was nobody. I could see through the window. And after that, the guy that night. So I knew then there was somebody haunting my room. When my friend found out about the other guy, I was kind of getting nervous. At one point, I had to actually, my husband worked nights. I had to get out of there with my kid. He was a baby at the time. I thought, I have to get out of here because this guy, my babysitter, even one time, stayed watching him smell cigarette smoke in front of the couch all night. So he smokes, obviously, too. So I got out of there and I ran to my girlfriend's down the street. I said, "Can I stay here for a while till he comes home?" "Yes, you can, Pam. Thank you," because she understood all that stuff. So, yeah.
Wow.
But he glared. And then after that, things were happening. My babysitter, I didn't tell her anything. We wanted to go out for one night. I thought, nothing probably will happen. I won't scare her. And she comes, and we're home, and she goes, "Pam, your place is haunted, right?" Because all night while I'm sitting here on the couch after Chris put Chris to bed and watching TV, I could smell cigarette smoke. And she knew we didn't smoke, so.
Wow.
Why he haunted my place, if that was the guy that committed suicide down the street, I don't know. But maybe it's because of the couple fighting next door, I don't know. But to this day, I don't know why my place.
That's wild.
Maybe he's trying to tell me something now that I'm kind of understanding I can attract them that way.
Yeah, I was wondering, I was going to say, is it because you attract them?
But still, he really creeped me out. I don't get creeped out but I was creeped out. And that took a long time for me to get over, talking about creeped out by spooky stuff. I could probably write a good ghost story with that if I remember that really.
That's a great one.
The reality, I write about a lot of stuff I either been doing the books and that. My Bunny Man one made it into a Christmas one because the Halloween one, and that came from the Bunny Man because I haunted Virginia. I was up there. He's an urban legend, so there's something creepy about him. But it is haunted because I have investigators that I've seen online. They've actually caught an EVPs there. But it's in the air. It's Virginia, so.
And why do you feel like spirits are drawn to you?
I guess because I guess they think I can help them, and I decided to try that because years ago at where Conviva is going to be, it's going to be actually back at Fort Magruder. They're excited. They want me to lead another people around because there is a lot of ghosts there. I'll go into the story about it. It's in actually Virginia Haunted Historic Triangle, but there was a ghost. There's a couple of ghosts there, and I was doing it on the Friday night for the people. The last time the MarsCon was there, and we were up second floor, and we got this voice of this man. He was pretty upset. He really didn't like it, and I kind of figured out that this was the modern guy that had died from having a heart attack on the toilet. Which someone told me afterwards that a lot of people who die on the toilet, which didn't make me feel good.
As a mortician, a lot of people die on the toilet. Yes.
Well, that's what he did. So his place was haunted a lot, and they had one time they had to look for it because the head maid told me the story. She had to help her look for the keys that they were suddenly not there, and they had looked in the bathroom, looked under the toilet, and everywhere. Well, finally, she did something that I told the head housekeeping lady to do. She told him to please bring back the keys, that her maid needed to go finish the rest of the rooms in the hotel. When she looked back under the toilet, there they were. So it was interesting. Because if you ask them politely, I found out they'll do things for you. Well, I thought, well, let me try this guy. He doesn't want to be here. I don't blame him. I mean, you die in a toilet, you're stuck in a hotel for the rest of your life, right? That's not a place you want to haunt. And so I said, well, if you, I said, I may have a little psychic power. You can use it, but I don't believe it's just all of us. It has to be you guys have to want to go. I said, if you really want to go, I bet you if you take a look away from you, I mean, you got relatives and friends waiting for you. There should be a doorway, and it will probably open for you. And if you can see the doorway, you can go through. Well, it was real quiet for the next 10 minutes. And then somebody asked, one of the man had a son with him that night. He says, did he go? And another voice came out of my box, my ghost box, said, he did. So I think he didn't understand. I got him to go to wherever
Wow.
There's a little girl there now. I don't know if she's still there. She died of an asthma attack. Her parents were alive. So I don't know. Because I found out the guy that died on the toilet, he was on the second floor. That was his area. The girl was on there on the other end, and we got her. And she only would talk to the boy, the 13-year-old boy that came with the man from the convention. She was 12 years old, so it was like a first crush. So she answered him, things he asked. So I told him to go ahead and ask her the questions because he seemed to like him ask. And I kept thinking, if I could have done it, I wish I had gotten her to just leave. Can you imagine being 12 years old, stuck in a hotel? Who knows who rents those rooms she's stuck to, and she thinks she's stuck there, and 12 years old. So I kind of feel sorry for a 12-year-old girl. That's like a nightmare to me.
Yeah.
So
yeah, as the mama to a 13-year-old boy, though, I can't imagine being that 13-year-old boy and getting told, you talk to the ghost girl, honey.
Well, he liked it. He talked to her.
Oh my God.
He answered him.
I know. And I totally
we probably were the creepy people to her at this point.
I know. No, I can imagine some kids, I'm sure, would be like so into it, and then I can see like some kids just being like, I am now scarred for life.
Some people take their kids to overnight ghost things. Think about it, that's really overnight spending in a place. It's really on. But he asked, he was real polite and real quiet about it, and she answered him. All the stuff we understood. It's kind of sad. I just thought it was the saddest thing because she has to, probably no other kids. I mean, your dad, you can't. I don't know if there were any kids. I don't think there were ghost kids. There was either the older man, and then there's a lot of the Civil War soldiers that died there. They died literally there. They found buried bodies when they were trying to redo the back of the area behind the parking lot to put flowers and stuff in. They found stuff in the ground from the there. Yeah, that's where it ended up. That's where they were buried. So yeah, there's a lot of them there. Believe me, it's not just me. A lot of people had experiences. One girl said she was there at 3:00 in the morning on the third floor. There's certain areas, especially, and she was walking away. It was real quiet. Either the gamers were down somewhere, the rest of everybody else was probably asleep, or if they were watching something late at night. But most of them were asleep probably by that point. And she was walking down the hallway when she heard running. And she thought, oh, somebody's running down here. And it hit her really solid enough on her arm to pass her, but there was nobody passing her. But the running kept going, the sounds of running all the way down. And she
wow.
Someone brushed against her. Was it one of the soldiers?
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, you have had some wild stories to tell us tonight.
A lot more to tell you, but there's not enough time in the world for that.
Oh my gosh. Well, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, Pamela Kinney _author, or Pamela Kinney, my regular page. I'm on Instagram, and that's Pamela Kinney author. I'm on Blutsky. I'm not too sure what that is now. I have to look it up. That's so new for me. And they can also check my website, which has some of them up on there, the little Ingrams. They could probably go to the places through that. That's https PamelaKKinney.com. So,
well, thank you so much. And your new
Always,
book
it's always great to have you on, Pamela.
you should come to Waynesburg in a few weeks, down at the end of the month. It's February 28th through March the 2nd to Conviva. They're going to have a whole slew of paranormal panels in a very haunted hotel. You might want to bring your son.
I might want to come down myself. Too bad for my son.
Great panels too there. So.
I might want to come down on my own. That sounds awesome.
No.
We might have to see you down there. Travis will have to come down with us.
Yes. Virginia's always a blast. Like I'm in Maryland, so I'm hopping and skip. So like Virginia has amazing. If you're into paranormal, Virginia is definitely a place, especially Richmond, Fredericksburg, that area.
Well, wait till you read my book. I'm not happy with the Antietam Confederate soldiers that died at Bloody Lane. They actually took away my video of them recording.
I know. I have heard that story. That is a wild story. Where have I have heard that story before? I don't remember where.
Probably somewhere. It's in the book, and I'm not happy with them because when I went home, everything else was on there. All the other ones, not them. I know that when I said, well, I do remember. I said, "Are you sorry you fought in the war now because they died, right, for slavery?" No. Okay, well, I guess you deserve it. That's what I thought. But yeah, but they didn't care. I don't know, maybe they heard me in my head. I don't know, but there was nothing on my recorder. So I called them damn Confederates. I'm mad about that.
Well, too bad for them because they friggin' deserved it, right? We have no Confederate sympathizers on this show.
They can't tell their story. That's tough to believe.
Well, yeah, but no Confederate sympathies here.
None.
Too bad. Yeah. So sad. My heart is breaking. All right. Well, thanks for coming tonight, Pamela. We appreciate it. And thanks for listening tonight with the Paranormal Experience here on the Horror Realm. I'm Elizabeth Broadbent. This is Travis Bruce. Have a good night.